Ethanol in our gasoline. How did it even get there? Well, now we've got to talk about the RFS, the Renewable Fuel Standard. Ethanol and the RFS have a long history, dating back to 2005.
It's an important part of making sure we become less reliant on foreign sources of energy.
Thank President George W. Bush and Congress. They created the Renewable Fuel Standard, the RFS. But let's go back even before W, when something called methyl tert-butyl ether, MTBE, made from fossil fuel, was added to gasoline to reduce smog. But in a world of unintended consequences, MTBE spelled trouble. It cost millions to clean up whenever an underground tank sprung a leak. That's not supposed to happen, but it does. After 9/11, when we wanted to stop using so much Middle Eastern oil again, ethanol stepped back in the picture, working out nicely as a replacement for MTBE. The Renewable Fuel Standard locked it in place, with the Environmental Protection Agency deciding how much ethanol should be made to go into our fuel supply. For 2016, the EPA set a limit of 15 billion gallons of ethanol from corn. That's 10% of the fuel that goes in our cars. That much ethanol adds up to around 10% of the fuel that goes in our gas tanks. And that 10%, E10, that's what's called the blend wall. Big Oil wants that wall to stay right where it is. The ethanol people want to break it down. E15 for starters, that's 5% more, or 5% less gasoline Big Oil would get to sell. The big takeaway is that when you hear about the Renewable Fuel Standard, the RFS, that's the mandate that determines how much ethanol ends up in our fuel supply. And for the moment, it remains in effect until 2022.